What we're going to talk about in this video is one of the key pillars of addressing chronic back pain. It's really important that you get this one right, otherwise you will find that healing is next to impossible. Before we get started, do myself and yourself a favor and subscribe to this channel because we release a ton of resources on handling chronic back pain. A lot of them you will never find them anywhere else on the internet because I discovered them from my own personal experience of struggling with chronic back pain for 10 years. But the good news is I've been completely back pain free for the last 2 years, so I know the way out and I can show it to you. Subscribe to this channel and you will learn how to do that. Now, one of the major pillars of healing chronic back pain is nutrition. Nutrition is really important. The main reason for that is because chronic back pain has a lot to do with inflammation. Inflammation is a natural process in the human body. We need it to survive. But when the levels of it get too high, we tend to experience chronic pain more intensely. And this is really obvious and common in chronic back pain and chronic pain in other joints as well. You may be surprised to find out how much relief you can get if you dial in your nutrition and eat the right foods and avoid the wrong foods. Because once you reduce inflammation, your entire body is going to have a much easier time functioning, and you're going to find that chronic back pain either goes away completely or gets diminished significantly. Related to this, if you have some weight to lose, if you're overweight or obese, this is also something that you should handle because the extra weight is putting more pressure on your spine and on your joints. And once you get rid of that, you're going to have an easier time moving and your joints are going to hurt a lot less. Now, the great news here is that the nutrition that reduces inflammation in a lot of cases is also a great meal plan and a nutrition plan for losing weight as well. So you're going to be killing two birds with one stone. First of all, the elephant in the room, if you cut junk food, if you completely eliminate it, you're going to be massively reducing the unnatural levels of inflammation in your body. This is going to be huge. You're probably going to discover that once you quit junk food, garbage food, processed foods, trans fats, all of that, once you quit that, you're going to probably immediately start noticing reductions in back pain. Maybe it's going to take a few days for the body to completely catch up, but I can almost guarantee you that after a week of avoiding junk food and garbage food, processed food, trans fats, like processed sugars, all of that crap, once you do that, your back pain is going to start really to get lowered. But another major culprit here is sugar and carbs in general. If you eat a diet that's high in sugar and carbs in general, and also if you combine that with a diet that's high in fats as well, you're going to discover that your back is going to be killing you. And sadly, diets that are high in sugar and also high in fat are essentially the standard American diet, the SAD. It can be difficult to avoid eating like this, but this is mostly because we have a lot of wrong habits instilled in us. Cutting on carbs and junk food can get actually really easy if you start following a few certain meal plans and ways of eating. For this, I usually think that eating like a low-carb diet, maybe even a keto diet, maybe even a carnivore diet, is actually the best way to go about it. A lot of people may struggle with these types of diets initially, but I urge you to give them at least 3 days. Usually it takes 3 days for you to adapt. Maybe for some people it's gonna take a little bit more, but you're gonna find that after 3 days, your taste buds start to reset. You start to enjoy the flavors a little bit. The foods that you're gonna usually eat, they're also really tasty, really good once you kind of relearn to enjoy them. And after that, it's really smooth sailing. It becomes a lot easier to follow a really healthy, really natural way of eating. Carbs and carbohydrates are kind of like addictive. They're almost like a drug. The more you have them, the more you crave them. And they also raise your appetite, which is why it's really difficult to only eat like one donut or one slice of pizza. It's really tempting to keep eating carbs, and you're only going to be satisfied for a really short period of time. You're going to want to eat probably a few hours after your last meal. And of course, the temptation to combine that with other garbage and junk food is great. It's all around us and it's on every corner, in every supermarket and every restaurant. And it's really difficult to eat properly. For that reason, if you stick with a low-carb diet, you're going to find that it becomes a habit really easily. It only takes a few days of adaptation. Now, to be fair, some people may not be built for this. There's new studies and research suggesting that some people simply cannot adapt to like a ketogenic or a low-carb diet. I would urge you to try and do this because I think this is by far the best way to eat for chronic back pain. But in case if you've maybe tried keto or low carb or carnivore before and you cannot make it work no matter what, in that case, maybe you're going to want to experiment with something like the Mediterranean diet. This is also a really anti-inflammatory diet. It's also really kind of like a natural diet, a good way of eating. It does involve a little bit more carbohydrates, which is why I don't prefer it. But if you cannot stick to a low carb plan, this is going to be your next best option. In any case, if this is a new concept to you, if you've never heard the idea that proper nutrition can actually reduce chronic back pain, just experiment with this. Give it a week. Give low carb or keto or carnivore a week. If you cannot do that, maybe try Mediterranean. But try and stick with like the low carb diet and think you're gonna find it to be massively beneficial, and it's gonna reduce your chronic back pain. It's gonna the effects are gonna start immediately almost. If you want a detailed plan on exactly how to eat, I have a lot of resources for you. The links to them are in the pinned comment or description. I have a completely free book. You must check it out. It outlines exactly what to eat. I also have an app that has a free tier and a course that's probably honestly one of the best resources on handling chronic back pain for good. Check them out. Also check out my next video. It's gonna be another great video on what to eat exactly for chronic back pain. I will see you there. And until next time, be brave.